Hello, welcome to Building and Culture. In the series 101 Books to Form a Soul, we propose today an analysis of The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. This novel has been written by Thomas Mann. It is composed of 7 chapters. The main theme is the illness of culture. Secondary themes are magic, geography, the South, possibilities, unreality, dreams, illness, the enclosed place, the point outside the world. Historical context. Few writers other than Thomas Mann can be considered in the same light as Goethe. The Promethean nature of Goethe's enterprise made it seem absolutely singular and unrepeatable. Thomas Mann had the ambition to be a new Goethe. In a sense, he succeeded. The historical context had changed considerably. The novel, The Magic Mountain, was written between 1912 and 1924. It is usually considered to be a formative novel. The collapse of the First World War, which set Europe on the road to decline, called for a certain analysis and diagnosis. Thomas Mann had set out to answer those questions even before the war began. He would continue to do so for several years after the end of the conflict. That the war was one of the author's preoccupations is shown by the fate of the main character. Hans Karstorp leaves the world only to return to it at the end of the story when the conflict, World War I, begins. This departure from the world caused by illness leads Thomas Mann to the question what made Europeans proud and their culture by showing how it can become eminently suspect. It is certain that this culture, and in particular that of the Enlightenment, is no way protect us from war and barbarism. How and why is it possible? The characters in the novel are supposed to be able to answer this question. Why is the book of interest to us today? As a diagnostic book, The Magic Mountain can be seen as a kind of method for identifying what is in our culture that can give rise to a form of uncritical pride. It shows, in a dialectical way, how culture is transformed into this opposite, barbarism. This is naturally a bitter observation, but above all, it shows how man's desire to master reality and himself is a form of impotence. The problem of reason is posed right from the title of the novel. How can we control things when we enter a magical space? The space of the mountain is magical because it marks a place where we can no longer control anything, especially time. Hans Karstorp wanted to visit a sick cousin and stay in the Davos sanatorium for 3 weeks. He would stay there for 7 years. The number 7 seems tinged with the mythology of numbers. We might recall the passage at the end of the book when it appears. Thomas Mann wrote. For 7 years, Hans Karstorp stayed with those above. This is not a round number for followers of the decimal system, but a good number, manageable in its own way, a mythical and picturesque span of time, one might say, more satisfying for the soul than, say, a dry half dozen. In a way, the passage expresses the novel as a whole. This is about healing a soul. In a way, it's about a naive soul that struggles to see the evil where it lies. But it is nevertheless a soul that has grown stronger. Hans Karstorp is a young man who has fled the world in spite of himself. He finds himself in a place where people are supposed to be cured. But the disease is hard to identify. The evil is also deeply mysterious. In a way, the sanatorium is also one of the novel's main characters. It is a setting for the exchanges between all the protagonists who willingly discuss the value of culture. What matters here is not so much the position and conviction of this or that character, but the difference between them. Their interplay is the truth of the book. Settembrini takes on the persona of an enlightened believer in progress. Nafta as the antagonist and dark double of that belief. As for Mina Peppercorn and Claudia Sosa, they are the proponent of a sensuality that always upsets the established order. They embody a life of desire in all its ambiguity, in the interplay of reason and irrationality.